What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and I'm about to watch episode 2 of Transformers War for Cybertron on Netflix. Previously on Transformers War for Cybertron, Ultra Magnus reveals himself to the Decepticons. What's going to happen next? He's going to betray the Autobots? What's going to happen? What are Bumblebee's next adventures, and what are the Autobots' next move against the Decepticons? What are they going to do next? Let's find out in episode 2. I'm going to give you a recap right after. Oh, so excited. Let's go watch this. Just finished watching episode 2. Another great episode. When I first was watching the first couple of minutes, I was just thinking to myself, this won't be as good as or better than the first episode, because the first episode was just so good. But I think it was really good mostly because of nostalgia. Like, I was just seeing a lot of things that really excited me. But this one actually introduced a lot of new and familiar elements to me that just got me really excited. So I'm just gonna first start off by saying that there was a couple of things that I forgot to mention about episode 1 in my previous recap, so I just wrote everything all down here. So I want to say that in episode 1, it was so awesome to see the Ark. When they showed the Ark, it was just so grand, and just like I said before, this is something that needed to be seen on a big screen, like a theatrical version of itself, right? And not only that, when the Ark was revealed, like, they had that music. And it just made me realize that the music is actually really good in this. Like, it's just so epic and it's so grand. It really makes you feel the scene. So that was awesome. And another thing, and this is related to the audio as well, the sound effects. Okay, and I'm talking about the transforming sound effects. When I first heard it in the first episode, was just awesome. That was the very first thing that came to my mind, and that is they got the original sound effects. So that's awesome. Now let's talk about episode 2. I decided to just write everything down. I took some notes in random order. So first of all, I want to start by saying that Ratchet's not here. Red Alert is the medic. I just thought he was just a character there, but he's actually the designated medic, not Ratchet. I haven't seen Ratchet showing up anywhere. And by the way, speaking of Autobots, who is that guy that I only know G1 in the movies. I'm most familiar with G1, the movies, and Transformers Prime. Everything else I'm not too familiar with. But who is that guy that like, I've seen all the Autobots there. Okay, let me just name them all. There's Optimus Prime. Well, Bumblebee's not really Autobot. Then there's Hound. There's Red Alert. There's Sideswipe. There's Elita 1 and Chromia, but who's that guy with the mask and the 2 things sticking out of his shoulders? The one that gets blown up in the battle? Like, who is that guy? I don't recognize him, but there's like a couple of them. There's like 2 green ones and a red one. I guess they're like the Autobot soldiers, the unnamed ones, but like, I think his name was Cog or something, but anyways, like, it couldn't be Cogman, but yeah, I wasn't familiar with that guy. I seen a toy of him, but I just wondering when was his real debut. I guess that's his on-screen debut. Anyways, speaking of new guys, new Decepticons. There was and by new Decepticons, I mean the characters that we weren't introduced to in G1, but they're making their debut here. Like, for example, Barricade. Barricade's in this, which was a bit surprising, because when I saw all the Decepticons looking at Ultra Magnus as he was making an approach in, like, I was just thinking to myself, who is that guy beside Megatron? It looks awfully like a Transformers Prime design. Turns out it's Barricade, and like I said, it did have a Transformers Prime design. He looks a lot like, I can't remember who it was, but it definitely a Transformers Prime design. I wrote down here, there's more drama. Like, it's definitely more dramatic. There's a lot of, it isn't just scenes which is like you take all the scenes at face value. For example, okay, here's our mission, let's go. Like, it's not scenes that keep on moving the movie the show forward. It's a lot of scenes of just drama and exposition and just characterization, just characters just having dialogue with each other for the purpose, like for the producers and storytellers' purpose to really have us get to know the situation, understand the story and the characters. So that's really great that they do that. It's not just about, okay, here's what we need to do, this is what we're gonna do. Let's make the plans to do it. It's not just about that, okay? The action was awesome. We just got a teaser of the action in episode 1. The action in this one was so awesome. This was the double cross. So basically, you know, and to recap in the first one, it ended with a cliffhanger of the suggestion that Ultra Magnus was going to betray the Autobots. So he didn't betray them. He decided to take matters into his own hands because he doesn't necessarily agree with Optimus Prime. So he decided to take matters into his own hands, send a transmission to the Autobots. But then the Decepticons intercepted it, and then there was that double cross. So which suggests that Ultra Magnus is not he's not a traitor, right? But that scene, that action sequence was so awesome. It actually made me really, really excited. I wasn't just watching action. It actually was good, well choreographed, well arranged. It was just a really good setup. Like there was build up to it, and then things happen, and then you're like, oh my god, there's Hound, and then he's like transforming, and it's got a really cool transformation. And then that guy that I don't know who it is, he gets blown up, and there's so many Autobot and Decepticon casualties. I didn't expect that. There were actual casualties from Seekers and this. I don't know who this character is. He's a Decepticon. He's like purple and gold, but he got crushed. So I totally didn't see that one coming. But yeah, that was really, really cool. And speaking of which, you get to see Decepticons being Decepticons. It's kind of like in the Bumblebee movie where they said like, hey, like, doesn't this sound weird to you? Like, they're called Decepticons. They're like, they literally call themselves Decepticons. They're here to deceive. So that's them being Decepticons. So that was really great. I didn't expect to hear about the Allspark, actually. The Allspark was something that I first learned about in the movies. And I didn't expect them to bring the concept of the Allspark into a G1-esque story. So that was something that surprised me, but it's definitely a huge part of the story. So I'm curious to see where that's going to end up. What else do I want to say? Oh, is there something going on between Elita 1 and Optimus Prime? Like, they're awfully close. I know she's the leader. I mean, the second in command. Not necessarily second in command, but she's like a sergeant. She leads the team into battle. Like, and that's really, really cool. But is there something going on between those two? You know. But it's really cool that they have that relationship. I like that. I like seeing like relationships in all the characters because it really gives you more to those characters, and things can happen later on, and then there's more emotional impact there. What else? Oh yeah, let's talk about the voice acting. Hound. Obviously I don't recognize anybody, okay, except for I do recognize Optimus Prime's voice because they wanted to make him sound like Optimus Prime. Obviously it isn't, but I actually like the new voice actor for Megatron. I really like him. I like Bumblebee, even though he didn't really show up in this one, just a cameo appearance. But what really threw me off was Shockwave. Okay, I expected to hear, you know, the original voice of him, and you just expect it, right? But then hearing Soundwave speak just completely made me bust out laughing. I busted out laughing when I heard that voice. That was not what I expected. So that threw me off a bit, okay? But what was cool about Soundwave is that he uses his skills as a communications officer to deceive the Autobots, and that was really a nice touch, like a nice character piece, nice touch. Let's talk about Bumblebee. Bumblebee makes a cameo appearance in this one, and it actually really works out for his character. He's neither Autobot or Decepticon. He's a factionless Cybertronian, and he decides to take matters into his own hand and kind of do something more for himself, right? So I don't think he knows what he's going to do with the Energon, but he definitely did something that was not planned, okay? Finally, I like how the Decepticon, I mean the Transformers, they have their own little dialogue. Like they, instead of saying like, damn it, they say scrap, or are you out of your scrapping mind, or let's get the scrap out of here, or they say things like, have you cranked your crankcase? Or what else did they say? Like they measure time in things like nanoseconds or stellar cycles, and that's really cool that they do that. We're gonna hear more of that. And I noticed that, you know, in the first episode we have the famous Optimus Prime quote, "Freedom is the right of sentient beings." This one he says, "Till all are one." I wonder what he's gonna say in the third one. Anyways, that's my recap for episode 2 of Transformers War for Cybertron on Netflix. Really, really enjoy this. I'm going to do 2 episodes per day. I don't want to like just zip right through it as much as I would really like to, but it just leaves me more to you look forward to in the coming days, right? I'm gonna finish it this weekend, but I'm gonna keep on doing these recaps. And there's only 6 episodes of 25 minutes each. They could have easily made this into a theatrical release. I would have paid money to watch this. I would have paid $20 to watch this. It's just such a great feeling. It gives you such an amazing feeling because it's so nostalgic, and it's just such a really good storytelling. If you love Transformers, and something I also realized is that I got so excited and felt so nostalgic about this because we've been waiting, and by we I mean G1 fans, have been waiting for so long for something great to come out that has a G1 vibe to it. And this is it. We've been waiting since the first movie, and then we got Bumblebee in 2018, and that was very close to it, but that was only like a 2-3 minute sequence, right? But this is something special. So I got nothing but praise for it, and I'm only 2 episodes in. Anyways, that's all I got to say. That's my recap for episode 2. Stay tuned for episode 3. Obviously, we had a cliffhanger with Bumblebee stealing the Energon. So what's going to happen next? We'll talk about it in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.